Well, our next guest, Jerry Meyer, is an artist who started out creating works of illuminated art using household appliances. He uses plastic materials like water guns, screwdriver handles, and vinyl records, and he's doing that and going to show us how he's done that. He creates freestanding constructions and memory boxes, each with a unique theme. We want to welcome Jerry to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Great
Thanks
to be
for
here.
being here.
Thank you.
Now, set this up for us, because you actually went to med school, but you actually attended the School of Museum of Modern Art.
Right. As a kid, I went to the Annex School, and I was always interested in art. But I went to medical school, and before our kids were born, I would take portrait painting lessons, come home so pumped up about it. I was really a painter. And
so what was it about being a doctor, where is it that you realized you needed to make that transition from being a physician to following your passion?
Well, I made that transition. I'm very lucky. I started part-time. And for the last 15 years, I've been doing art full-time. I closed my practice. Yes.
These particular pieces you make, how do you come about with the inspiration behind them?
Right. Well, it really started by appreciating the color and the light and how that makes you happy. I was jogging one day in Fairhaven in November, a very gray day, and I ran across a piece of broken green glass. And I thought, boy, it makes you happy. The color makes you happy. So I went and I found some colored plexiglass, and I started making sculptures, little constructions out of the plexiglass. And they were lovely, but they would go away in the dark. And then I had an inspiration to use electric lights. So I found some old toasters, and I had the plastic plexiglass color coming out of it,
right,
and electric light in it, and they were great. And that started a whole series of lighting up appliances and moving on to these boxes, which I create from scratch.
From scratch. And this is more contemporary art, right?
Very contemporary.
So how do you make it both...
Up to the minute contemporary.
Up to the minute, up to the minute. How do you make it interesting and entertaining at the same time? Because that has to be a challenge.
It is a big challenge. To have something that's aesthetically, artistically interesting and beautiful and have some ideas in it, words, a theme. The trick is to put them both together. I was inspired by Joseph Cornell, who was a constructionist, made these wonderful boxes in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And
your last show, talk with me about memory boxes.
Right.
Why did you name it that? And what was the inspiration behind that?
Right. Well, I was using the art to deal with memories, with my own memories of the past, and putting them in a box, lighting them up, getting ideas and associations, taking found objects, taking old photographs and working with them on Photoshop, some of them of my family, and building the boxes. Yes.
We actually have some pictures, because I want you to share with us, you know, as we walk through them, a little bit about this one here. This one says growing pains. What were you thinking about when you constructed this piece?
Well, I was thinking about how hard it is to raise children and everything that can go wrong.
Everybody's saying
and
amen to that.
You know, it's kind of a game, and it starts off with the things that a parent worries about in the bottom left corner. When they're born, all the way up to adolescence. I don't know how clearly you can see some of the boxes on it, but so it's dealing with something pretty serious,
right,
worrying, and yet in a humorous way. I think we use humor to deal with all kinds of issues, and it's a way to master things that you worry about. And I think the piece is beautiful in its own way, and funny.
All right, let's look at the next one. What are we seeing here?
This is called Intermittent Gratification. It's more of a serious piece, and I find this is one that I like almost more than any, because it's kind of aesthetically very beautiful.
But why do you like it so much more than your other work?
Well, I love the way it looks. When you walk around, things move in it, although it's not electrical, it's all optical. But it's dealing with why we repeat certain things in our life, and how early memories and early experiences get played out in life. Not that you necessarily know that if you look at it, but there's a lot going on, and in a way, the closer you look, the more you see.
Right.
There's lyrics in there of old songs.
And what about this one here, Jerry? What are we looking at now?
Yeah, this is called the Secret Meaning of Examination Dreams.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've had them. I've had many people where you dream you have to take a test, but you never read the book, and you don't know where the exam is being held.
Have them all the time, Jerry.
Yeah, right. Me too. So I found an old map, actually, of Pennsylvania, where I was born, and I changed the name of every city to another examination dream. Like, I never read the book. The instructions are in Swedish.
Okay.
I'm late. And there's no chairs left, no pencils.
Oh, no.
So it's kind of funny, but it's dealing with examination dreams, and kind of type A personalities.
I want to talk about some of the other pieces you brought, because speaking of funny, you brought some other interesting pieces. I want you to walk us through. Let's start, if we can, with the small appliance here. What is this one?
Well, this is one of the intermediate pieces. I said I started with lighting up appliances. This is an old radio from, it's an old GE from 1946, 1948. So I took it apart, took everything out of it. I'm very good at taking things apart. And it has light in it, and I made this design, kind of a Russian constructivist design. And it doesn't play any music anymore, but they're very beautiful. I've sold a lot of these. People put them in their house.
Let's also talk about this. Let's move on to the next one if we can, because we're running against the clock. But I love this piece here, because I think this is what I would think of. When you say shadow box, I think of this. It's with an interesting twist, though.
Right. This is part of a triptych called Do You Hold the Memory of a Vanished Dream? And it's the middle one. And that actually is a photograph of my father and me when I was 7. And it's full of memories from the past and kind of dealing with them, putting them together in a way that's aesthetically interesting and a little more sentimental. But the trick is, can it be universally appealing? You like it, even though you never met my father. But I think it comes from a deep inspiration. And
it appears that way. But I want to now talk about your next show. It's called Civilization and Discontents.
Civilization and its Discontents, yes.
Tell us a little bit about what folks can expect of this particular show.
Well, actually, that's an essay by Freud, Civilization and its Discontents. And it's about dealing with all kinds of disappointments in life, which are inevitable, about separation and loss. But what I've done with this piece is I've used a lot of humor. This piece here, which will be in the show, is called More Greatest Hits. I made 2 jukeboxes with old, beautiful colored vinyl records, which are a lot of fun to look at. But I changed the labels on them. And I don't know if you can get a close-up of some of it.
We have that. If you'd like to get in contact with Jerry, you can do so through Denise Bibro Fine Art in New York City. Just log on to our website. We'll have the link. Jerry, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.